What's up, Crackerjack? Welcome back. I am the Watcher, and I have a really good comic for you today. Actually, it's He-Man, Masters of the Universe. This one is called Revelation, and it is a prequel series to the Amazon He-Man series. Now, prequel series, yes, there are more of these. Spoilers, no, I don't have any more. But after today, I kind of want to get some because I would like to see where the story goes. It's that good of a story. A little warning before I get in this one, besides trigger warnings. Not really a lot in this issue. I mean, you do see a kid die, that's about it. It's a fantasy death, a monster touches him with a tentacle. Spoilers. But the other warning is, I know almost absolute zilch about He-Man. In fact, I'm going to tell you everything I know about He-Man in less than a minute. Son of Zorn, which I think I'm the only one that liked that show. I thought it was funny. Other than that is... oh gosh, I think it was all the way back in 2009, 2011, somewhere between there. My friends were having a house party. It was a couple that lived with this other woman and her child. And I don't think they were imposing the party on her. The other woman was having the party too. Well, anyways, I used to have quite horrible insomnia. I mean, I average like 4 to 6 hours a night, but back then, I would get 4 to 6 hours every other night. And especially if I wasn't in my own environment, I could not sleep unless I was so wore out that I passed out. So, as you can imagine, at this party, I wound up being the last one awake. So I was sitting up, and it was about, I want to say 5:30 in the morning, when this 6-year-old comes in the room. I had no idea their child was even there till that point. And I'm the only one up. And, he's like, where's my mom? And I'm like, oh, your mom's asleep. And she wouldn't wake up. And the kid, he wanted breakfast and he wanted to watch TV. So I made pancakes for everyone. And I want to state I felt comfortable doing so because I was that kind of friends with the people. And I was like, all right, bud, you got your breakfast. What do you want to do? And he wanted to watch He-Man. And at that point, I had not seen any He-Man. I understand the He-Man he showed me was not the original. It was like some later release version. But I sat there and I watched at least like the entire first, if not 2 seasons with this kid. And he was just telling me who everyone was. And I saw Skeletor before he lost his face, how he had the little mustache. He had a little wispy mustache and he was like very French. And, my opinion of He-Man before that was kind of sus. After watching it with that kid, I was like, hey, you know what? This is decent. This is actually a decent show. That's kind of what happened here today. I just really liked it. But I have very little knowledge of the franchise. So if I mess things up in there, I don't know certain characters or something because they're not mentioned, or I'm surprised by things like the cat talking, I'm sorry. But, again, I did like these, and if they do well, I will probably get more for the channel. Now, as for next week and its warnings, we're going to be doing their Crusaders episode, and boy howdy, I gotta tell you, I'm not looking forward to this one. I skimmed through it. So, it's Alberto. It's part of the Little Alberto series. Yeah, they focus on this kid, and I tell you, Tim and Jim are in it for like a panel each, from what I saw. A panel each. And, oh my god, it's like all the other ones. Like, you get like a page of comic, and then you open, like, the middle of it is just a book of them repeating information they've given before. So, it's going to be a long video. But if you enjoy those ones, I'm sure you're going to be back here for that. But that's enough of that for now, because today we are doing the wonderful world of He-Man. So, without any further ado, let's get to it. Alright, welcome to the main segment. I'm experimenting with some camera angles. I kind of really like this one. I can see on the screen much better and make sure that you get some nice eyefuls of this beautiful art. Now, this being a modern, more classy print, it's a little glossy, so I'll try to keep the glare off it as much as possible. Now, if you look at the cover, there's this awesome Skeletor there. Unfortunately, he's not in this issue that much. This is perfect, like, He-Man art right here. If I was more of a He-Man fan, like I was going to put a poster on my wall, this would probably be like one of the first ones. You may also notice that this is the official prequel to the upcoming Netflix series. Now, I'm pretty sure this is a rather old comic and that series is already out. When we flip to the back, like a lot of the Hellboys, there's just this picture of Castle Grayskull from within the comic and a big colorful back. So, Masters of the Universe, Revelation #1. And that got me, because I'm a little spoilers. By the end of this, I want to see where the story goes more. So, I might actually get more of these. So, it opens up. You got the king here. You know, the king of Equestria here. And it's like, not long now. Randor, it's the middle of the night. And his hot wife walks up behind him. Princess Bubblegum there. Yeah, I'm going to take a moment again to apologize if I mispronounce names of pre-established beloved He-Man characters. I'm very new to the franchise, and I have limited knowledge of it. So, Marlena. I heard it again. A fizzling, almost electric. I see you didn't bring a blaster this time. Are we finally in agreement that it's just your imagination? Perhaps. And I would say keep that thing on you, King. Look, even if these phantom echoes were real, that's no reason to be stumbling around the palace in your jammies at all hours. Let me enlighten His Majesty. Our home, our fortress, is swarming with well-trained, armed-to-the-teeth royal guards. And if that's not enough, I'll remind you, you still have the sworn sword of the most powerful man in the universe. Even though there's been peace and quiet for a good long time now. If Skeletor was still alive and could get to you, he would have done it by now. And you know what? I'm going to say this. Oh, your well-trained guards, tell that to Caesar. Oh, wait, you can't. Believe it or not, my dear, there are worse things than even Skeletor in this universe. And don't you think they have better things to do than to keep old kings up at night, chasing whispers and shadows? I'll come to bed soon. I promise. Let me sit on my depression balcony. You have this like big 2-panel splash page. You have a... At first I thought that was a meteor, but I guess it's just like a very epic cloud. It begins as all things have begun. Somewhere in the stars, tucked away in the vastness of celestial eternity, in the anticipation of its time. Oh, the many unsuspecting worlds and people woven through the universal fabric, victims to be of their blameless, narrow field of view. Some guilty, all innocent, of the horrors destined to meet them. Then, in this time of darkest desperation, with the delicate mix of triumph and tragedy that makes heroes and heralds hope, an impossible attempt, but a champion's duty, a message to strike across the stars, that read by one could save all. But how, oh how, could the hero know his words would fall short, his saber miss its mark? How hijacked by the cruelty of fate, he would watch, in silent despair, as his enemy, the event, revealed itself to feed first upon his failure, and then, at last, the rest. All but for the warning, his grand unheeded warning, of a powerful, escapable truth. The revelation is nigh. You trying to sound ye olde? So next panel.
Hi there, I'm Adam, Prince of Eternia. This is my kitty, Mr. Cringerpants, the most cutest kitty in the universe.
So he jumps up, he grabs his sword, he transforms into He-Man, and he's like, "Faster, Battle Cat." And Battle Cat says, "It sounded like..." And this guy's like, "The king?" And this surprised me. I didn't know Battle Cat could talk. Just gonna say that now. I was like, alright, the cat's talking. And so they're in here. The king's on the ground. This thing's touching him with its goopy tentacle there. This chick's shooting at it with her gun in the left hand. so it can face like the screen. This guy's got a halberd without a point on it. I don't know, it looks like the cat's saying again, "What are you waiting for? Fire!" "We've tried. The blasts pass right through it. And so do the rest of our weapons." And He-Man, he draws a sword. He's like, "Let's try mine. The sword." He goes to swing on it, and zip, it's out of there. And he's like, the little dude again, he's like, "Oh, it's gone. Help me get up." And here's that panel you see on the back of the comic, except they got it without the words. So I guess they imposed the words over later. "The fleeted monarch is hastened to the real seat of power, the living monument, cleverly masked in death and decay. A painted foreshadow of the world that waits." "I don't understand. I didn't even swing the sword." "No, He-Man." And spelt like no, like to know He-Man. I don't know what they mean there. I have trouble with English, bro. "That the Orlax of Primera has met that blade before." "The Or of what? Who now?" "I thought the Orlax was just a myth." "Apparently not." "But sorceress, I have never before happened upon this creature, let alone raised a sword against it. The legend of the Orlax is older than the power itself, and you are not the first to wield its sword. If we could know more about that legend..." And then Battle Cat chimes in. "All we need to know right now is that it tells of the beast's mortal venom. What of the king? If there is poison in his veins, it moves, like the Orlax itself, with a magic hidden from my sight. Would that the beast were here, so I might commune with it, learn its secrets, and use them to formulate a remedy." Someone chimes in. "Man-at-Arms has mobilized the entire Royal Guard. They'll find it." I'm just going to assume it was He-Man. "Let us pray they do it in time. Adam should be here." Tella, "Aye." "Don't worry, Tella. I'll keep the royal family in loop. Isn't that right, He-Man?" Battle Cat, "Sorceress, there must be something we can do for King Randor." I like how, like, the cat is, like, just this noble knight. Like, you think it's, like, again, like, I'm very new to He-Man, so, like, outside analysis, like, oh, it's just, like, a mount or a pet. He's like Sir Richard. So the sorceress is like, "There is. Tella, join the search. Bring the Orlax to Castle Grayskull. Battle Cat, you and Orko keep watch over the king. He-Man, with me. I need you to go in my mysterious dark tunnel, He-Man." I think this part might be a euphemism. "The Cosmic Corridor? Sorceress, the king is dying. What are we doing here?" "The corridor is a pathway through space, yes, but also through time. I told you the Orlax had met the Sword of Power before. Perhaps there's something in that meeting, in that time, which could point us towards a cure for the king. It'll take all my focused strength to keep the door open for you to return. When you have found the answer we seek, reach out to me, and I will bring you home." "But what if I don't find an answer? What if he dies without knowing the truth about me, about who I really am?" "That truth is kept hidden to protect and to preserve the lives of those who you love. Your father's now hangs in the balance. You must go." And that's funny, like, Prince Adam, he just wants his dad to know that he's, like, the hero. But he doesn't know. And that's what I always found hilarious about He-Man. I'm sure I'll bring this up later. You know, people give Superman crap for wearing glasses. Like, that, what a disguise that is. Prince Adam literally just takes off his shirt and is jacked. And no one recognizes him. His hair doesn't change or anything. And it's not like there's a bunch of guys that look like him walking around. Remember, time is as delicate as life. He-Man, do your job swiftly. Alright, so he goes through this really abstract time portal. Time, space, and all the everything between. A universe is a forest, a complex ecosystem in which everything that is, was, or might have been is coddled into balance. All of it is accessible, but just out of reach, until the glorious majesty of Almighty. Oh, I love how they did his eyes here. It's just alignment. Grasp it, line it up, and let the weight inform your swing. I'm sorry, Your Majesty, I don't understand. It's Father. We only use styles in court, Adam. Sorry, Father. It's all right, Your Excellency. Try it again. This time, I might even tell you the secret. It's that I am the Burger King King, and I do have a delicious flame-boiled Whopper for you. He does look a lot like the Burger King King. I mean, in the flashbacks, his hair is purple, but like right there. You said we don't keep secrets. Well then, I suppose I have to tell you. Alright, are you ready? The secret is... it's not a sword. Father, of course it's a sword. It is not. And to consider it so is to invite defeat. Then what is it? And it goes to these two different guys. I'm gonna assume this is like somewhere further back in the line. Someone being handed down the same knowledge. An extension of your arm. The hilt in your hand is just another joint to connect your forearm to the blade. Once you master this, make it part of your body, of your being. The sword gives you its power. And do you know what happens then? What? You become the sword. Dun dun dun. You become a hero. Now your brother is going to try to strike you, Ro. I want you to defend yourself. Dare. Well, go on. And Adam's like, King Grayskull. You have another really big scenic page. I really like how they do these. Haha, yes. The blood of kings courses within each of our little greys. Show that spirit to your opponent. Show him only strength. No weakness, no mercy. No mercy? The snake men would show none to us. We fight, we win, we die. Or we die. Yes, indoctrinate the children. Alright, so this is the part I warned you about in the beginning. You see a child die, and it's the only death in the whole comic. Well, I mean, you also see the snake guy get stabbed in a minute too, but you know, I didn't really think people cared about imaginary snakes getting stabbed with minimal blood. It's just like Shadow. People get more messed up at looking dead children in the face. What is that? I do not know. Time is delicate as life. Yes, but space is obstinate and unforgiving, especially to the stranger from whom a simple trick of geography can mean the difference between life and death, suffering and joy, freedom, such destruction, and subjugation. Such potential. Father, what if I'm never the hero Dare is destined to become? I do not share his skill with the sword. You need to be a great champion to make your king proud, little Gray. You are my son, and that to me is everything. And this part's a little... So they're like, Dare! He's just sitting there, he's like, yeah, I'm swinging a sword. But there comes that dude, and he's just like, boop, dead kid. Yeah, I like how that thing somehow snuck up on him, too. Why would Hiss use the beast to attack an innocent boy? If you wanted your heirs to remain innocent, you should have kept their identities a secret. You made them fair game. Your power, Grayskull, ends with you. Yeah. And he starts slicing at the tentacle thing. The sword of a king is his strength, his voice, his spirit. His subjects are his beating heart. But the blood of a king is never his at all. It belongs to the tide and time. General, Hiss's new weapon is a creature existing in two different dimensions at once. Communication with such a being is, as we see it, impossible. Which is funny. So, like, it can touch you and it can kill you, but, like, you can't do anything to it. It's like one way. I do not want to talk to it, elders. I want to kill it. A wound would need to be simultaneously inflicted upon the beast in both dimensions. There is no weapon in existence that can pierce the spatial veil to inflict such a wound. You mean it cannot die? But our son, the future of Eternia, can and will die if we do not act. The gods sympathize with their plea. Their people should and must endure. So the defeat of the undefeatable, they agree to share with the king their power. But to access it, he would need a key. One strong enough to channel a potent primal magic, a pre-Terranian sword. The magic we would employ walks the line between darkness and light. That is, contrary to Praetorian righteousness. To be an effective key, the sword will want tampering, like an alloy. Tampering with what manner of ore? Here must I go. Across the eternity of creation and the infinite multitude of legends and myths one is destined to encounter, there is one oft-repentant ruffian, a cautionary hearkening, more ancient than time itself, to eclipse all the boundaries of expression. This guy looks bad at this is probably like my favorite picture in the whole book. Like just the setup, the colors, the heft of the emotion in it. A deal with the devil. Take it and leave, fearless fool. A bargain that can only end in tragedy, in time, but that today, in desperation, seems a gift. But therein lies a different story, for a different day. As for now, and I'm wondering if that's going to be covered in the later books, the king would return with his prize, with the shared strength of his most powerful, magical allies, bend and shape it to his will then. So I guess from what is their version of the devil, he got the ore for the other sword. So he made another sword like his sword, and then they combine them. The power of your wisdom and our strength, refracted through the after and the underlife dimension, unified in darkness and light, and now in your hands. And the swords, they zoop together. I like how he had to make another sword for them to just do that. Devon. I'm just going to call him Devon. Devon, we do not know enough of this creature's origins or intentions. It has been used by General Hiss, yes. By since its own needs may well be innocent. What would you have me do, wife? Continue to abandon Dare to the unspoken intent of a mindless beast? Our son, the future king, will die. Unless I slaughter the thing first, and feast on its bloody entrails. You don't have to eat its shitty entrails, dude. Husband, what bargain did you make with that demon to secure this dark ore? What of yourself did you trade away for this chance at revenge? I told him I would eat poo. It's a chance to save Dare, our eldest, Vienna. Where is Ro? I like how it just has him, like it's been holding him the whole time.
Heath right here. Well. No one's been watching your child this whole time. And I have an indestructible weapon. And both your heirs. Soon I will have this great hall. Your lovely wife. And you, Devon. Look around and tell me, truly, what do you have left?
He's like, I have... the power! And the beast is like, "Argh!" Infused with the same magic that powered the emergence of the universe itself, the same power that will soon be its undoing, the champion king awoke. And he slices through the beast arm to buy back the blood in the spilling of others. And of course he goes for his favorite son first. And I like how that was bad for him, but he just falls to the ground from, look at him, he's way up in the air. And just so, it was done. But
What is done is nearly never what is finished. Unintended consequence is consequential nonetheless. The hero would feel deeply the sorrow and the weight of responsibility in having caused it. Ro, I guess he's dead, but the suffering he felt was to be felt by him alone, as he would remain unable, for the rest of his days, to find the words to share it. There's no poison I can detect. I do not understand what took him. I believe the creature's venom is somehow of the mind. Perhaps its touch formed a psychic connection, one too strong for our own minds to process. If that's the case, then the beast may have only been trying to communicate. Communicate what? Yeah, so this moment she's pretty much like, I told you so. We may never know, husband. There are things in this universe that simply defy translation. So, I told you so. But it still wouldn't have done anything. The burden of the hero is knowing, even in the face of certain defeat, if his mark is true and aimed for the greatest good, he must act and act again. He has no choice. And a little guy there's just like, Father! And things like, Whoa! And then He-Man, jumps in, shrink! Kicking its ass in the past. He's like, yes, I have saved you by breaking the fourth wall of storytelling. So he's like, sorceress, I'm ready. Yeah, like I was just holding the tentacle. You saved my son. Name yourself, stranger. I am a friend, and I'm sorry we've had to meet under such sad circumstances. He was called Dear. His sacrifice will save many lives, and I promise you, his name will live on. His sacrifice will save specifically my dad. See ya! Goes through the magic portal. It's time for me to go, your majesty. The Snake Men aren't the only evil force in the universe, bent on learning Eternia's secrets. Perhaps it's time to disguise the location of the Hall of Wisdom. Something menacing, to frighten even the great Orlocks of Primaria. And the Orlax? So you have one of those things where the name pretty much comes from him traveling back and saying the name he was told. Ah, well, I guess now we know how it got its name. Keep training under your father, Ro. I see in you the heart of a true champion. Take that, Orlax. Ha! And this one is for Dear. My cotton candy hair will prevail. Yeah, some cool colors here. Man, they you know, like a lot of times the superheroes, like they kind of they either give them the Ken doll or they give them very generous like proportions. They went Ken doll here. Perhaps you should try this one for size. And he hands him the sword of Eternia, which is somehow existing 2 times. Like the sword is next to itself in this picture. That's cool. Go on, try it on. So then it skips to this. What's wrong? I don't know. It's just not me. I understand. Do you? When I was your age, the last thing I wanted was to dress up and attend parties. What did you want to do? I wanted to be champion. I wanted to be the champion like He-Man. But I learned the hard way that was not my destiny. The hard way? Different story for a different time. Suffice it to say, once I accepted that I would never be the great swashbuckling hero, I was free to embrace my true path. So you're saying King was your fallback career? Well, when you put it that way. That's like the second time they said that, like, another time, and again, I'm wondering if these stories are going to come up later. No, what I'm saying is, I know you'd rather be serving in the Royal Guard, or following He-Man into glorious battle, but your destiny is, well, larger than that. I won't be around forever. Father, it's true. And neither will your mother. And since the time of the Grayskulls, this throne doesn't get passed to a champion. No matter how great a warrior he is, it gets passed to a prince. The people have known and loved since the day he was born. And it's funny because it gets
pass to both this time. He-Man is an idea. A good one. One that rallies the people. Makes them feel safe. He towers over us. He should, because he isn't one of us. The champion is a keeper of secrets. The king should never hear of burdens the king should never bear. That puts a big enough target on his back. If I were He-Man, the only way I could rule Eternia would be in disguise. Oh, that's why so maybe He-Man's one of those things where everyone like knows it's the prince, but they're just like, oh, who's that? Because of that right there. Hey, that doesn't seem very practical. It isn't, which is why we are the Spectre, and he is the sword. He is the sword, and I am the grill of delicious flame-boiled whoppers. That's what keeps you and your mother safe. I wouldn't have it any other way. And neither should you, son. Now please, will you pick out a damn crown so we can go to this damn party and drink some damn wine? They saved all their cursing for right there. All their damn cursing. I like how, like, people's kids have been killed and they didn't curse then, but he cursed for, like, God, get me out of this social situation. Oh, sorry, I was having a flashback while stepping through. What have you discovered? I'll explain on the way. So there's no way to remove the venom? There is no venom, Orko. Not a physical one, anyway. There never was. Hundreds of years ago, the Orlax traveled here from another dimension. It's home of Permia. Why, we may never know. Unfortunately, the first beings that met here were the Snake Men, who, realizing its attempts to communicate with the Eternals, proved fatal. Enslaved the creature and used it to attack King Grayskull and his family. So I'm realizing right now, like, the sword couldn't cut it, but they could put chains on it to bind it. You met King Grayskull? Yes. And thanks to the sorceress's magic, I also witnessed his creation of the Sword of Power, which he used to sever the limb from the Orlax, and frighten the beast back to Permia. But the limb... You say you brought one of these limbs back here to our time. The sorceress is with it now. Where? The cell is fortified with the sorceress's magic. It's sure to hold. Yeah, I'll still keep my distance, if it's all the same. So the severed limb, like a serpent's tail, regenerates itself into the full Orlax? More like a starfish. Allowing the sorceress to try and safely commune with it, in the hopes of learning how to heal King Randor of his affliction, and perhaps what brought the creature to our dimension in the first place. Strange it should be frightened of us, when it knows we're no match. Can't tell who that is, they're kind of off-screen. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it doesn't want to engage with us. But we're not in any danger as long as it doesn't touch us. Perhaps it knows it can't control itself. Like my alcoholic stepdad. Or put another way, perhaps it knows it's being controlled by someone else. Dun dun dun. This is what made me want to get our one. So it cuts to Skeletor here with this cool snake helmet. Get it back! I can't. The sorceress's magic is clouding the regenerated creature's mind. You have to find some other way to kill He-Man. He-Man can wait. I was this close to translating the Orlax's warning. The whole reason it came to Eternia. Half a millennia ago. Now get it back! It's like his game got cut off. And I guess this one's a sequel. Again, awesome poster. Following the vicious Orlax's attack on King Randor, He-Man learns the creature is linked to the origin of the Sword of Power, and also to his nemesis, Skeletor, who finally finds himself on the cusp of realizing his dream of capturing Grayskull's secrets. You have like some more ads. There's something called Dead Burden. Never heard of it. I like the dog. Something called Black Hammer Reborn, which I wonder if that has to do with like Steel. But I think that's owned by Marvel. I don't know. Never heard of her. Probably didn't do very well. Oh look, 2021. Oh, so this didn't come out that long ago. Do you have this, normally I like these. This cool ad, like 35 Years of Dark Horse. I don't like the Hellboy they chose. I'm going to say that. Don't know who that chick is. I think that's The Witcher. I think that's Leonidas. He's naked. Make sure to whatever this is, Trauma Team, that looks really well done. Kind of looks Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, I'd read that if I found it. Apparently Plants vs. Zombies was worth putting on there. Here's the Black Hammer chick. The mask is really the best drawing, I think, on here. I mean, they could have picked some, I think, from a lot of these franchises, much better drawings to make you want it. I can't put my finger on it, but maybe there's, you know, they could put a little more or maybe even a little less out there. So, then you have this thing, Dragons of the Divide, and I gotta say, that looks like one of those Amazon shows. You know, Horsepower. Notes to the editor. Oh, nice Hellboy ad in the back. Hellboy and the BPRD Secrets of Chesbro House and Savage Hearts. Oh, those look good. I guess that's the news from Hellboy. Oh, Savage Hearts is this one. I like that's got an old-timey comic look to it. I might look for some of those. But this has been our adventures with He-Man this week. He-Man, you know, I really thought this was a great comic. It was really definitely an enjoyable read for me, and I hope it was for you too. But now that we're done with this, let's get to the final thoughts on this one. Well, what I say, it was pretty good, wasn't it? I really liked the spaciness. I really liked the colors. I really liked the atmosphere. It was really freaking good to me. You know, the only negative thing I have to say, and this isn't even about the story itself, is about the character, and I always found this hilarious, how no one recognizes him. People say, oh, Superman's secret identity is so stupid, he puts on glasses. He-Man takes his shirt off. That's it. He takes his shirt off and no one recognizes him. Like, imagine if your brother, it was Thanksgiving and he just left, and then he came back without a shirt on, and you were like, who's this mysterious stranger here to help us? And they even joke about it in there. Now, as for the story itself, I thought it was really well written. It was excellently paced. It's honestly one of those times where this is a perfect comic book. This right here, this comic is a perfect comic book. It has a great paced story. It's self-contained. It leaves you wanting more. It has mystery at the end, but doesn't leave you hanging. I mean, it's just illustrated beautifully. And again, a Dark Horse publication. You know, the more I read Dark Horse, the more I'm seeing that maybe some of my views about them were a little wrong. This especially encapsulates my views of them buying up other people's franchises. I think I'm just more upset about what they did with Alien and Predator. If you hear a roaring, I'm sorry. I live between two Air Force bases, right in their direct path of travel, and they have been flying over all day. So the president must be blowing the fuck out of something at the moment. Also, on brand with the Dark Horse, you know, I was thinking this was more Hellboy in the previous episodes, but there was hardly any ads, and they were all in the end. They really let the comic shine through for what it is, and I appreciate that kind of integrity. You know, I know Image Comics was started by artists themselves, but I'm not too sure about Dark Horse, about their publication history. Just they came out, I believe, in the late 80s. But, you know, I'm going to say this right now. You guys, you're making me look quite the fool. You know, a lot of your comics, at least anything I've read on the channel so far, has been great, and I absolutely have loved it. And I definitely recommend it if you're looking for something to read. Now, as for the age-old question, can he beat Captain Planet? I don't think he can beat Captain Planet at the moment. Given all my limited knowledge of He-Man, I think maybe, especially with help from his friends, he could go toe-to-toe with Captain Planet. So he is a superhero in that regard. But I don't know if he could necessarily beat Captain Planet. And I definitely don't think he's lesser than Captain Planet. Honestly, again, the only major thing Captain Planet has over this guy is he can fly. Which he's had over a lot of people. Except a little Red Hot, that was funny. Actually, now I think Hot Stuff. I think little Hot Stuff is the only guy who could fly that I've said couldn't beat him so far. But dude, this was just fantastic. This, you know, I don't want to say I didn't want to read it like Alberto next week, but friggin', yeah, I wasn't excited or put off by this, but after it, man, it made my day. I enjoyed the heck out of this. And if I can find more of these, I'm probably going to try to. I'd like to see what happens with the story. Of course, though, I have a lot planned for the channel, and I just bought a bunch of Daredevil and Batman comics. So it might be a little while. I at least have to finish up more of the series here on the channel, such as The Crusaders, which we will be doing next week. Now, if you made it this far in the video, thank you. It's always greatly appreciated. Your retained viewership, especially to the end like this, helps my videos get seen more. Anytime you like, you share, you subscribe, you comment, all that stuff helps out my channel. My growth is starting to pick up a bit, and it's been rather exciting. And of course, it better motivates me to keep reviewing these comics for you. Honestly, are these even reviews at this point? I guess I'm giving my opinion. It's more of a reading. I don't know. I like to be very transparent with art. I like people to see what's in there. I don't just want to tell you, hey, this is in there. That's what I've seen. Boy, howdy, this is how you should feel about it. I want to present the information to you. I'll tell you how I feel, but it's up to you to draw your own conclusion. Just like with life. Either way, though, all your patronage, greatly appreciated. And I definitely hope to see you back here next week, when we're going to be starting the first in the Little Alberto series on the channel. I know the people sticking around for the Crusader comics probably really going to like that one. But until then, stay safe out there, and remember, be the master of your own universe.